Happy Friday. So this week I've been talking about communication. And as I said at the start of the week, there has so much been written about effective communication and active listening for decades, and we still don't get it right. And I've said, I think we assume because we speak, we're communicating, and we're not. And we assume because we can hear that we're listening, and we're not. They are skills that have to be learnt and developed and sustained. And they are the skills that everything else sits on. You can't, if you don't communicate and listen, you can't coach, you can't mentor, you can't support, you can't provide direction. You can't empathise. So you must hone those skills of communication. And one thing about communication is that we need to ask questions. Asking questions is the way that we find out if our message has been received as we intended, rather than just go blindly on and making assumptions and then wondering why everything's gone terribly wrong. So there's open questions, as you know, but think about when we're questioning, are you actually using open questions, or are you asking closed questions which will only get a yes or no response? Now that might be sufficient, it depends what you're asking. But if you were saying to somebody, did you understand the message that was sent out? That's a closed question, yes or no. As opposed to an open question, so what did you think about the message that got sent out? How did it make you feel? Did the message make you want to ask more questions? And if so, what are they? So people will solicit the questions. So you can start off with, did it make you want to ask questions, yes or no? But then follow on with an open question. What are those questions? Confirmation questions, making sure that you know the person is understanding what's being communicated. And so often we just assume that people have understood. And also very importantly is the playback question. And this is why you need to listen, which is what I'll talk about next week. So when you've listened, you've communicated and you've listened to what someone's saying, you play back to them. So what I'm hearing you say is this. And then they can say, confirm that you've understood what they're saying and how they're feeling and their emotions and responses, or correct you if you haven't understood them properly. So questions, open, closed, confirmation, playback questions, use them at the right time. But remember, they are absolutely worthless questions unless you're listening. I'll talk to you next week.